Hello everyone, welcome back to another session of Dark Souls PvP and another Battle of the Uploaders Xbox Edition. This time I'm fighting against DJska3, I believe that's how he wants his name pronounced, and I have to say these fights were really fun. I, at this point, had not been on Dark Souls for a good serious gameplay session in about 2 weeks, and I was a bit rusty and it probably wasn't the best idea to jump headfirst into a battle of the uploaders, especially against someone who is a very, very good player. And really, I kind of surprised myself with this first fight, because this was the first time I'd played Dark Souls in 2 weeks. But after that, it kind of went downhill a little bit, and my luck ran out for a little while. And, you know, I probably do owe you guys a bit of an explanation as to why I haven't been uploading very often and why I have been offline so much. We'll just leave it at issues on the home front and move on from there. Let's just say that moving is a very time-consuming process, and yeah, it's not fun. Let me just tell you that. Also, a job search is something I've been working on doing, trying to do, so on and so forth. You know what I mean? Trying to find a job is not fun, and I mean, it is what it is. But that's where I've been, that's why I've been so busy, but that's not really that important. Now, getting started with this Battle of the Uploaders, my build that I'm using, it's of course my usual little quality build, with my 50 vitality, 45 endurance, 40 strength, and 35 dexterity. And the reason I listed off my stats right there is because that's the most common question I get. I mean, I've got that copied in a Word file, just so I can copy and paste it into a comment when someone asks me what my stats are. Same with my armor set, I've got that right under it, but anyway, that's not important. Now, as far as the build he is using, I'm not really sure. I know my build, well, I obviously know my build, it's level 125. He said his was 130, and I would assume that the stats are distributed roughly the same, possibly lower strength, enough to wield the Murakumo and Zweihander, and enough to do good with the Zweihander too, so I'm not really sure what his exact stats are. I'm thinking it's more of a dexterity-based build, and right here it's where it sort of started to go downhill. Of course, as is standard, I had to take a phone call while I was playing, had the phone on my shoulder, because again, as is standard, I don't learn to use speakerphone. I started to lose very badly and play very badly for a little while, but it is what it is. I mean, it's not like we're trying to prove anything, we're just in it for a good time, and that's really why I like the Battle of the Uploaders idea. It's not that you need to prove who's a better player, who's a better uploader, or any of that. That's not what matters. It's about having a good time and having people who can see it from both ends, and that's what's really cool about it. That's what I really enjoy about it personally. And he uploaded his side of the fights a few days ago, probably a week ago now. It took me a while to get around to doing this, as I mentioned earlier in the video. I've been busy. Where was I? Oh, man. Something about something. So, anyway. You know, I really can't remember where I was in that. That's embarrassing. Usually I don't forget that easily. I don't lose my track of thought that easily. Oh well. Man, that's really embarrassing. And it's bothering me now, too. I talked about the builds, I talked about something, I was talking about Battle of the Uploaders and the idea behind it and all. Right, he uploaded his videos a little while ago, and it was really kind of interesting. We actually had a fair bit of lag going on between us. It was definitely interesting to see the difference in our fights, because you can tell there is a slightly significant difference in what's happening between what I saw and what he saw. So the fact that we both had really good fights out of it and both really enjoyed what we were doing, even though you could see there was visible amounts of lag going on between our two sides of things, I don't know. That's just something I thought was interesting. It doesn't really mean that lag can necessarily... I don't know what the right way to say it is. I don't know what the right way to say it is at all. I guess I'm trying to say that lag doesn't necessarily mean doom for a battle of the uploaders, because it's not like you're trying to prove yourself. I mean, yeah, if you're teleporting, they're teleporting, that's an issue, but a little bit of lag doesn't matter so much. You can deal with it. So, it is what it is. Overall, I had a really good time with these fights. It really reminded me that I need to just take a little bit of time and relax about everything that's been going on. And gotta say, Dark Souls really helps. It really does. It was definitely nice to just sit back and take a break from it all and have some really good matches. And these were some really great matches. He is incredible with his weapon swapping, which is something I really need to work on. Because, man, did it throw me off. He is incredible at it. I mean, some of the things he does in this video, I don't know. He can do it so quickly, and he's good with all of the weapons he switches through. So, I think if I could work on my menu switching, get it a little bit faster, as far as the weapon swaps go, then I could probably benefit from that greatly, because I've used every weapon in the game at this point. If I could just weapon switch fast enough through them, then that could be a huge benefit to me, because I am able to use all of them pretty much equally. Jack of all trades, master of none, so on and so forth. Now, I love that parry. That was a good parry on his part. Very predictable on mine, but after 2 weeks of not playing, I mean, it is what it is. So, really, it's fun, in my opinion, to see how bad that I have gotten within 2 weeks of not playing. Just some of the mistakes that I made, just looking back at them, it's really kind of, not really shocking, but interesting to say the least. I mean, I did have a few really good fights where I just sort of went full autopilot and did what I needed to do, like this fight here, the very first fight, and a few fights later on. But this is actually pretty much where I start to turn around in my wins to losses. And don't get me wrong, I lost a majority of the time. His weapon swapping it just throws me off so much. And he's really fast and good at doing it, so I really need to work on that. I've been working on the Hornet Ring switch, but weapon swapping is easier, but then I get into the menu and think, ooh, I want to use this weapon. No, I want to use that weapon, and I can't take the time to do that. That's what gets me with it. I can't take the time to pick and choose. I just have to go to the next weapon in the list. So that leads me to believe that when he's weapon swapping, in his list, he's just going down one in the row. It's not like he's searching all over for a specific weapon. So that means you have to change the order of them and everything prior to the fights and have certain weapon swaps in mind. So, keeping that in mind, I'm probably going to try that. And again, that was a great parry. He got some really impressive parries on me. They were just very impressive. That's the only way I could describe them. So, he is a very skilled player, and his channel is actually surprisingly not that well known. Not as well known as I think it should be, at least. So please, definitely go check him out. He's got some good videos. He uses some great music in them, in my opinion. And it's just good. I just can't talk. That's what I just can't do. It's just good content that he's got. So definitely go check him out. And, you know, the glowing blue hair, yeah, save editor, big deal, whatever, woo. He's not using it in a bad way, though, so I personally don't see it as a problem. I personally like the way that the glowing hair looks, and if I ever do have to use a save editor, if I ever do, I will probably color my hair, because it looks so cool. I mean, the colored eyes are nice too, but the colored hair, I don't know. I'm getting off topic though, kinda. Anyway, right there we had a bit of lag, and, well, yeah, I started to try and be like, no, stop it, and sort of spaz my whatever, trying to get him to understand that he's got a longsword moveset, but, oh well, it didn't end up helping me at all. It kind of got me killed. But it happens, and it really didn't happen too often throughout the fights. It did happen a few times, I think a total of like 3 or 4, but I cut out most of those and we restarted the fights, so there's really no point in having you guys watch me run around from whatever weapon he was using at the time with a longsword moveset. There's really no point in you guys seeing me run around away from that. I mean, I don't know. Let's see, what else can I talk about in this video? So, E3 was the other day, how about that? And actually, even more recently than that, there was the Xbox, Microsoft and their Xbox One getting rid of the DRM thing that they had going on. So, I don't know. I don't know which console I'm going to be going for when the next generation comes out. But again, I don't have to worry about that because Dark Souls 2 is going to be on the current generation of systems. So, I don't need to worry about that for a while. Really though, I think I'm probably going to go for the PlayStation 4. It really depends on where the majority of the community goes, but I have the feeling that they're going to be going to the PlayStation 4 as well, just because of what the Xbox One had to begin with. Even though they've changed it now, I have a feeling that some people aren't going to let go of that. But it is what it is. Now, right here is where where I really started to sort of turn things around. And I switched off from my quality build to my heavy weapon strength build. This thing can fast roll with weapons up to 24 weight. That's pretty impressive. And it's got 50 strength, so I can wield the majority of all weapons in the game, in the strength category that is. Right there, I wish that hit him. That would have been such a great little bait combo to get him. I would have been very happy with that, but it didn't end up working out. Although I did get him with this running attack right there, and that made me quite happy. Although a combo with that R2, that would have been even better, but it is what it is. And I believe he said that I'm scary with this weapon, something like that. He said that I am very scary with this weapon. And it's a fun weapon to use. It's got a similar moveset to the Zweihander with that blast attack coming off of it. So it's definitely fun to use. If you have the strength to use the Dragon Greatsword, pick it up, because it's really worth it. And right there, that was actually something interesting I noticed. With certain weapons in the game, they don't have the ability to hit all throughout their swing. So with that swing on the Great Axe, I hit him at the very, very end of the swing, and it still caused damage. So that's kind of impressive. And right there, as you could see, I hit right in the middle of his invincibility frames. On his end, though, it looked like he was already way far away when I did that jumping attack. So that's one of the few places you can really see the difference in the lag, the difference in the video, I guess. But it really doesn't make that big of a difference. It's just the way it is, and that's just the way Dark Souls can be. Hopefully Dark Souls 2 won't be that way. I highly doubt that it will. But it's really interesting to think how PvP will be affected. And a few seconds ago, when I did that running attack, that was so close to hitting him. And on his end too, it still looked like it was very close to hitting him. And I'm really surprised that it didn't. I am extremely surprised that it didn't. But, oh well, no big deal. Now, let's see. You know, I keep running out of things to talk about. I don't know, but oh well. That was a pretty cool hit he got on me at the end of this fight. I liked that. I rolled right into it, and I deserved that. That's for sure. Now, with this build that I'm on, there's really not much variety along the lines of the heavy weapons I can use. I mean, I'm not using a lot of them, that is true. I'm using the ones that I prefer, but I don't know. Even this Great Axe, I don't know, I just prefer the Demon's Great Axe so much more than it. It just seems kind of pointless. I don't know. It's a good weapon, don't get me wrong. It's a very good weapon, and right there I should have turned around more so I could have dead-angled him with the blast. But he partial parried it, and it was a good partial parry. And right here, he got a little bit R2 spammy with the S-Dock, but that's okay, it worked, and he didn't keep doing it. I mean, if it's an effective strategy, then it is what it is. That's just the way it goes. If it works, then it works, and I can't complain. Really though, the S-Dock is a very good weapon. I definitely like it. It's probably my favorite of the pokey weapons. I do like Velka's Rapier also, but the S-Dock is one that I would prefer. And speaking of Velka's Rapier, I might as well mention that now as long as I have that thought in my head. I am actually planning on using that for the next weapon showcase. I actually already have it recorded. I've also got another 2 weapon showcases recorded, but Velka's Rapier is going to come out first. So I should have that up in a few days after this video comes up. After that, the Artorias swords, because I've received incredibly high amounts of requests to do those. I don't really know why. I personally don't think the things are that great, aside from the Abyss Greatsword, which I personally enjoy fooling around with on my quality build, just because you can do the full damage of the weapon without having the stats to wield it properly, being the intelligence and faith levels. So really, what's fun about that is you can actually use it to do the flippy attack and hit someone, pancake them with it, and still have your sword deflect off of them. And it looks pretty funny. So that's what I do with it, and I get a kick out of it. People tend to not be too happy when I do that, but that's not my problem. Oh well, it is what it is. And right there, got him with a pancake. Drake Sword versus Dragging Greatsword. I think it's kind of obvious which one is going to win that, but I actually think that he might end up winning this fight. So right there, how it looked like he went right through the wall, that's another place where you can see the lag in the fight. And it's really very apparent there, because I hadn't even used the attack on his end when he ran through it. Like, my sword was still up in the air when he ran across in front of me. But on my end, it looked like he went right through the wall. So, a little bit of lag. Not a big deal. I just think it's interesting. So, we've got 2 fights left at this point. Let's see, is there anything else important that I should talk about? I don't really think that there is. Other than, definitely go check out this guy's channel. Again, his name is DJska3, I believe is how he wants it pronounced. I will include a link in the description and all that good stuff. Go check out his stuff and so on and so forth. Blah, blah, blah. He does definitely share my love for the black firebombs. That is definitely true. And, I mean, I can see why he's killed me with them. I think it was twice throughout this video that he got me with them, so they're useful. And he definitely puts them to good use. And he is definitely good at his weapon swapping. So, overall, great fights. I need to get a rematch with him once I've gotten back into the swing of things with Dark Souls, just because after a 2-week break, jumping right into these battles, it wasn't my best idea, but it was still a really good time, so it was definitely worth doing. I don't regret it by any stretch of the imagination, but I definitely want some rematches against him, because I feel like I could do a lot better than I did in this, and that's just the way I feel about him. So again, this is the last fight. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Definitely go check out his channel, and I will see you next time.